Hi. We're living in funny times, in times where things we think we can depend on, we can't depend on them. I'm sitting here in the garden and I just got some good news. Thank goodness you all say. Good news. I'm sitting here with my coffee cup that I got because my sunflowers did not grow this year. And I did a mini boot camp this summer and someone posted up a picture of this mug and I had to have it. It's got coffee in it that I made from my coffee machine because we weren't allowed to go out and get coffee. So I decided I need to have good coffee in the house. So I can depend on my mug, I can depend on my coffee machine. And then I planted dahlias in my garden because I love to have flowers. And this week we had a storm and the storm destroyed my dahlias. So I've only got 2 plants left out of 4. And the 2 that are left are pretty raggedy looking. So I went and I got some more flowers, which are nice, but they're not the dahlias that I wanted. But sure, what can I do? You do the best you can. So yeah, I can't depend on things that we used to depend on. Every year I would make a diary for the last 6 years. And people got through this pandemic using the diary. And they said to me that it helped them. And I love making them. And then last Christmas, the diary just was not stocked in the shops. And it was very disappointing because the previous Christmas was the Christmas that we couldn't go shopping. So I was excited to go out and sign the books last Christmas, and there weren't any anywhere, just in one bookshop. So my heart broke there, and then I was waiting in January for the contract for the next one and waiting in February, and I didn't hear back from my publisher, who I had depended on for 5 years. So I contacted them myself, and are we going ahead with this? It's like, oh, we don't know. We haven't decided yet. We don't know. So I said, well, you could have feckin' told me if you were thinking about it. And, and it's not my fault that their distributor didn't put the book into the bookshops and that didn't sell as well as normal. So they hummed and hawed, and I'd just pushed it back to them. And they eventually admitted that they were not going ahead with my diary. After 5 years of incredibly successful sales and fun, and it's a really good book. So I had to grieve. We've been doing a lot of grieving. And then I decided, fuck it, I want to do this anyway myself. So I wrote to them and I said, well, can I use the name and the formula and everything? And can I go ahead with this on my own? And they said, yeah. So I said, great. And then I was with the conundrum of how do I go about that and what do I do? So I'm going to now, excuse my fingers, turn the video around so you can see what I've done. So as you can see, my raggedy dahlias, but look there, there's a couple left, and they still are beautiful. That's beautiful. And okay, we've got some raggedy space here where there was a plant and my little kitten, and then I have these new ones which I bought from a shop, which feels like cheating, but never mind. You have to cheat sometimes. So this is the One Day at a Time diary. And a friend of a friend, Nicole is her name, put together an amazing template for me. And this is what came out of it. But as you can see, it's the wrong size. So this is what happens. It's the prototype, as my husband said, it's the prototype. And you open it up and it's got very similar to the previous. But look at these. We've got QR codes here and phone wallpapers. So it's pretty, isn't it? I went above and beyond, and of course I needed a cat in there. I went above and beyond what I normally do, which is give you a reminder, go to a link, download some meditations. I thought, no, we can be more interactive. So I put in QR codes, I put in exercises. I'm going to flip you back around because obviously this is not going to fit into anybody's handbag, right? So then I got it the right size. As you can see, there are issues here, but this is what happens with a prototype. Especially when you look on the inside. Have a look. I love that. I give you total permission to wreck this diary. It's too much space here Not enough space for you guys to write. And look what else I added in, colouring. You see, I couldn't have done this with the publisher. And my daughter now is going to design colouring pages for next year. I think it looks fabulous, but this one just wasn't right. And it's hardback too, which is good, but it kind of is more like a, it's like an annual as opposed to a lady's diary. So then I had to go back to the drawing board, but I said, no, I'll go ahead and I'll publish that. And guess what? The publishing house said no. They said they would not publish it. So I'm going to sit back down again with this one here. They said they wouldn't publish it. And there's another thing that we thought we could depend on, a self-publishing house that won't publish. So I'm like, what is it? Why? You know, do you just not like me? You know, my reputation or the people I'm hanging out with, or what? Why will you not publish my book? And they said, because you go against our community standards. Now, if you've been following me the last few years, you know I have lots of friends who've had their YouTubes taken down for going against community standards. I'm like, well, this is a loving, healing-filled book. And I said, this is disgraceful to talk to me like this and to not tell me why. You know, all that. So they eventually came back and said, because we don't do journals and diaries with space for people to write in. We only do books, as in books. And I'm like, well, why the heck didn't you just say that in the first place? So I did some research, and Amazon will print journals and diaries that have space for writing in. I'm going, oh, thank goodness. So my good news that I got today is that it's officially published. But I wanted to just show you the prototypes because we kept going. All right, so this was the first one with Amazon. I should say we kept going. I kept going. Because honestly, this is a labor of love, and this is my labor of love, and I did all the work now at this point after Nicole helped me tidy it up and look pretty. So the problem with this one is there's white lines on the bottom. So this is something called bleed, okay, guys? So here's and there were a few mistakes, like there's meant to be a prayer here. But the bleed is where the picture goes off the edge of the page. And you can see the white line there. And that there's white lines. So I had to do one more. And this was it. This was it. This is the final. Well, the final is done. And I'm excited because it now means that we've got a diary. So when I have the one that says for resale, which I'm going to be ordering pretty soon, it shall be up on the Amazon website across all the Amazons all around the world, which is exciting. And everybody who wants a diary can buy one. So I'll come back with a part 2 and I'll go through the diary once I have the one that doesn't have the not for resale on it, and go on a deeper dive with the diary. But this is a diary for next year, and it's based on astrology of the year to come. And it's filled with stuff, absolutely filled. So if any of you have ever had the One Day at a Time diary, you'll know how good it was. And this has like 5 or 6 times more stuff in it to keep you busy and engaged with the book all through the whole year, not just the beginning of the year where people pick up diaries and then they lose their interest. And I've actually done quite a lot of really interesting stuff that I have the freedom to do whatever I want now. And there's something to be said for freedom. So let's just end this video with a treatise on freedom. I'll just show you. This is Freedom, Praxis Publishing. That's my imprint, and I have it here. Praxis Publishing, I don't know if you can see that. And Praxis Publishing is where I published my trilogy as well. And I love Praxis Publishing because I can say everything the way I want to say it. And it looks the way I want it to look. And it's really me giving my voice out there to the world. And I think it's inspirational. Well, I hope it is for you guys that you can do this too. You can do this too. So thanks for watching this far. And I hope you get some good news as well. And I know that we've all, again, had things that we couldn't depend on. And we have to depend on each other and depend on ourselves. And it's not an easy road, as you can tell. That's why I'm making the video. All the different prototypes I've had to do, all the ups and downs and ins and outs. But eventually you get what you need, you get what you want, because you persist and you believe. And I'll leave it there.